The scent of pine and wet earth clung to everything in Greystone territory. To the wooden beams of the pack house, to the fur-lined cloaks hanging by the doors, and to my own skin no matter how many times I scrubbed it raw. Tonight, that scent mixed with something sharper, the metallic tang of anxiety that seemed to seep from every wolf gathered in the great hall. I stood at the very edge of the crowd, my blonde hair braided so tightly it pulled at my scalp. And there in the center of the room he stood, Dominic, the Alpha, the one I loved, and the one I feared might slip away. I'm standing here in this ballroom, surrounded by the most powerful wolves in the territory, wearing a gown that cost more than most people make in a month, and yet I feel vulnerable, exposed. Like everyone can see right through the carefully constructed facade I've built as Dominic's Luna. The chandeliers above cast their warm, golden light across the marble floors, making everything look like it's bathed in honey. The orchestra is playing something classical. I think it's Tchaikovsky, but honestly, I can't focus enough to tell. The music swirls around me, mixing with the chatter of pack members, the clinking of champagne glasses, the rustle of expensive fabrics as people move past me. And through it all, I can feel my heart racing, pounding, like it's trying to escape my chest. Because across this beautiful, elegant room, I can see him, Dominic, my mate, my alpha, the man who's supposed to be mine and mine alone. But here's the thing I need you to understand. When you're mated to an alpha, it's not just about love. It's about power. It's about position. It's about the delicate balance of respect and fear that keeps an entire pack functioning. And right now, watching him move through the crowd with that commanding presence that makes everyone step aside, I should feel proud, secure. Instead, I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, and the ground beneath my feet is starting to crumble. Let me paint you a picture of Dominic because you need to understand what I'm dealing with here. He's 6'3" of pure alpha male energy. Broad shoulders that fill out his custom-tailored suit like it was painted on. Dark hair that he keeps just long enough to hint at the wildness beneath the civilized exterior. And his eyes, God, his eyes. They're this intense shade of amber that seems to glow when his wolf is close to the surface. Tonight, he looks absolutely devastating. Black suit, crisp white shirt, no tie, because Dominic has never been one for unnecessary constraints. He moves through the crowd like a predator, all controlled grace and barely contained power. People literally step aside to let him pass, their heads bowing slightly in deference, in respect, in fear. This is my mate. This is the man I've stood beside for 3 years. The man who chose me out of hundreds of eligible she-wolves to be his Luna, his partner, his equal in leading this pack. So, why do I suddenly feel like I'm losing him? I watch as he pauses to speak with Elder Marcus, his hand extended in greeting, that perfect political smile on his face. The one that doesn't quite reach his eyes. The one that means he's working, not relaxing. I know this man's expressions better than I know my own. I can read the tension in his shoulders, the way his jaw tightens almost imperceptibly when someone says something that annoys him. But then, and this is where everything starts to unravel, his eyes shift. Just for a moment. Just a fraction of a second. But I see it. I see the way his gaze sweeps across the room and lands on her. Eliza, the new maid. The girl who showed up at our door exactly 1 week ago with references that seemed impeccable and a story about needing work after her previous pack disbanded. I should have trusted my instincts then. I should have listened to that little voice in the back of my mind that whispered, something isn't right about this one. But I didn't. Because I'm supposed to be gracious. Understanding. The kind of Luna who gives people chances and doesn't judge based on paranoia or insecurity. Now, looking at her across this ballroom, I'm kicking myself for that decision. She's beautiful. Let's just get that out in the open right now. Not in the obvious, flashy way that some she-wolves try to be, with their revealing dresses and heavy makeup. No, Eliza's beauty is subtle. Dangerous. The kind that creeps up on you. Her hair is this rich chestnut brown, pulled back in a simple bun that should look plain but somehow highlights the elegant curve of her neck. Her eyes are a startling green, like emeralds, like spring leaves, like nothing I've ever seen before. And even in her simple black dress, the standard uniform for serving staff at these events, she manages to look graceful.
Poised.
But here's what's really getting under my skin. She doesn't act like a maid. She doesn't keep her eyes down, doesn't fade into the background the way she should. Instead, she moves through the room with this quiet confidence, this self-assurance that sets my teeth on edge. And Dominic keeps looking at her. I'm trying to focus on the conversation happening around me. Lady Helena is talking about the upcoming territorial negotiations with the Northern Pack. It's important. It's the kind of thing I should be paying attention to, should be engaging with. But I can't, because every fiber of my being is attuned to Dominic's presence across the room and the way he's moving closer to where Eliza stands. The wine in my glass trembles slightly, just enough for the red liquid to catch the light, to remind me that my hand isn't as steady as it should be. I take a sip, hoping the alcohol will calm my nerves, but it only makes things worse. The taste is suddenly too sharp, too acidic, like it's turning to vinegar on my tongue. Luna Seraphina? Lady Helena's voice breaks through my spiraling thoughts. Are you quite all right? I force a smile, the one I've perfected over years of pack politics. Of course. Just a bit warm in here, don't you think? She nods sympathetically, but I can see the calculation in her eyes. She knows something is off. Wolves are perceptive creatures, and the pack can always sense when their Luna is unsettled. It's like blood in the water for sharks. One hint of weakness, and they all start circling. And then it happens. The moment that changes everything. The orchestra transitions into a waltz. It's tradition at these galas for the Alpha to take the first dance of this particular piece. Usually he dances with me. It's expected. It's proper. It's what we've done at every single formal event since our mating ceremony. But tonight, as the first notes fill the air, as couples begin to move toward the dance floor, Dominic doesn't look for me. His eyes don't sweep the room searching for his Luna. Instead, he walks directly to where Eliza stands near one of the serving tables. I watch, frozen, as he extends his hand to her. I watch as her eyes widen in surprise, as her lips part in what looks like protest. But then she places her hand in his, and my entire world tilts on its axis. They move onto the dance floor together, and I swear I can hear my heart cracking. The sound of it must be echoing through the entire ballroom, but no one else seems to notice. They're all watching the Alpha dance with the Maid, their whispers buzzing like angry wasps. Is that? Why would he? Where is the Luna? I can feel their stares, feel the weight of their judgment, their curiosity, their speculation. Some of them are looking at me with pity. Others, with barely concealed glee, because pack politics are vicious, and some wolves would love nothing more than to see me fall from grace. But I barely register any of it, because all I can see is Dominic's hand on her waist. The way they move together, perfectly in sync. The way she looks up at him with those impossible green eyes, and the way he smiles at her. That smile. Oh God, that smile. It's the one he used to give me. The genuine one. The one where his eyes crinkle at the corners and you can see past all the Alpha posturing to the man underneath. I haven't seen that smile in months. Maybe longer. When did he stop looking at me like that? When did I become just another responsibility instead of the woman he chose above all others? My grip on the wine glass tightens. I'm surprised it doesn't shatter. Part of me wishes it would. At least then I'd have something concrete to focus on. Blood and broken glass instead of this hollow ache spreading through my chest. They turn across the floor, her dress swirling around her legs, his hand steady at her back. And I realize something that makes my blood run cold. They look good together. Natural. Like they've danced together 1,000 times before instead of this being their first. How is that possible?
She's been here for a week.
1 week. 7 days. And somehow she's managed to work her way into my mate's arms, into the center of pack attention, into a position that should be mine and mine alone. I need to calm down. I need to think rationally. This is what I tell myself as I force my feet to stay planted, force myself not to storm across that dance floor and rip her away from him. Because that's what the old Seraphina, would have done. The Seraphina before I became Luna, before I learned to control my impulses and my wolf. That version of me would have shifted right here, in the middle of this gala, consequences be damned. But I'm not that girl anymore. I'm the Luna. I'm supposed to be above petty jealousy, above base emotions. I'm supposed to be the example of grace and control that the entire pack looks up to. Except right now, I don't feel graceful. I don't feel in control. I feel like I'm drowning, and everyone's just standing around watching me go under. The rational part of my brain tries to kick in, tries to make excuses. Maybe it's a political move, some kind of statement about pack unity, about how even the lowest member of our household deserves recognition. Maybe he's testing me, seeing if I'll react with jealousy or maintain my composure. Maybe there's a perfectly logical explanation that I'm not seeing because I'm too caught up in my emotions. But then I see the way his thumb traces a small circle on her back. It's unconscious, intimate, the kind of gesture you make when you're completely comfortable with someone, when touching them is as natural as breathing. And that's when the jealousy really hits. Not the surface-level annoyance I've been feeling. Not the territorial instinct of a Luna protecting her position. This is deeper, more primal. This is the jealousy of a woman who's watching another woman touch her mate and suddenly realizing that she might actually have a reason to worry. Around me, the pack continues to watch, to whisper. I can hear fragments of conversations, speculation running wild. Never seen the Alpha dance with anyone but the Luna? Who is she really? Luna Seraphina looks furious. Maybe there are problems in their mating. Each whisper is like a needle under my skin. Because they're not wrong. There have been problems. Distance. Arguments about pack business that never quite get resolved. Nights when Dominic stays in his office instead of coming to bed. Mornings when we move around each other like polite strangers instead of mates who are supposed to be irrevocably bonded. When did it start? Was it gradual, or was there a specific moment when things changed? I've been trying not to think about it, trying to pretend that everything's fine, that every mated couple goes through rough patches. But watching him now, watching the way he looks at her, I can't pretend anymore. Lady Helena touches my arm gently. Luna, perhaps we should. I'm fine. I cut her off, sharper than I intended. I can see the hurt flash across her face before she masks it with understanding. I apologize. I need a moment. But I don't move. I can't. Because if I leave now, if I walk away, it will be an admission. An acknowledgement that this bothers me, that I'm threatened, that I'm weak. And in pack politics, showing weakness is the fastest way to lose power. So I stay. I stand here with my wine glass and my forced smile and my crumbling heart, and I watch my mate dance with another woman. The more I watch them, the more details I notice. Things that should mean nothing, but somehow feel significant. The way Eliza moves, it's too refined for a simple maid. Too practiced. Like she's had training in formal dance, in high society events. Where did a girl who supposedly came from a disbanded pack learn to waltz like that? The way Dominic holds her, it's protective but not possessive. Gentle but not uncertain. It's the way you hold someone you trust. Someone you know. Not someone you've known for a week. And the way they're talking, I can't hear the words, but I can see their lips moving. Quiet conversation, under the music. She says something and he laughs. Actually laughs. When was the last time I made him laugh like that? The song is nearing its end. I can feel the finale building in the music, the final crescendo before the last note fades. Soon they'll separate. Soon Dominic will probably come find me, will try to explain or brush this off as nothing important. And I'll have to decide. Do I confront him? Do I pretend I'm fine? Do I demand answers I'm not sure I want to hear? My wolf is snarling inside me, pacing, demanding action. She wants to claim what's ours, to make it clear to this interloper that Dominic belongs to us. But I hold her back, barely. Because causing a scene won't help. It won't solve anything. It will only give the pack more to gossip about, more ammunition to use against us if they sense instability in our mating. But God, it's hard. Harder than anything I've ever done. Standing here, watching, waiting, while every instinct screams at me to act. The final note echoes through the ballroom, and the couples on the floor separate, applauding the orchestra. Dominic steps back from Eliza, releasing her waist, but keeping her hand for just a moment longer than necessary. He says something to her. I see his lips form words I can't read, and she nods, her expression serious now. Thoughtful. Then he's moving through the crowd, heading in my direction. Every step closer makes my heart pound harder.
I don't know what I'm going to say.
Don't know if I can trust my voice not to shake, not to betray the chaos of emotions churning inside me. People part for him automatically, and I notice the glances they're shooting between us. Waiting. Wondering. This is going to be the talk of the pack for weeks, maybe months. The night the Alpha danced with the Maid instead of his Luna. The night there was a crack in the foundation of the pack's leadership. I straighten my spine, lift my chin. Whatever happens next, I won't let them see me break. I won't give them the satisfaction. Dominic stops in front of me, and for a moment, we just look at each other. His expression is unreadable, that alpha mask he wears so well. But his eyes, there's something in his eyes. Apology? Defiance? Regret? Seraphina, he says quietly. Just my name. Like it's a question and an answer all at once. And that's when something inside me snaps. Don't. The word comes out harder than I intended, sharp enough that a few nearby conversations pause. I lower my voice, leaning in slightly. Don't say my name like that. Like you didn't just humiliate me in front of the entire pack. His jaw tightens. I didn't. You danced with her. I'm struggling to keep my voice steady, to maintain the appearance of calm while everything inside me is screaming. The traditional first waltz. The one that's supposed to be for us. For the Alpha and Luna. And you gave it to the Maid. It's not what you think. Really? I can feel my control slipping, feel the wine glass trembling in my hand again. Then please enlighten me. Explain to me what I should think when I watch my mate hold another woman the way he used to hold me. Something flashes in his eyes. Pain? Anger? I can't tell anymore.
We need to talk about this.
But not here. Not now. When then? I demand. When you come home late from another pack business meeting. When you barely look at me across the dinner table. When you choose to spend your nights in your office instead of with your mate. I can see I've hit a nerve. His hands clench at his sides, and for a moment, I think he might actually lose his composure. But he's an alpha. Control is everything. Seraphina, I need you to trust me. Trust you. The laugh that escapes me is bitter, painful. You're asking me to trust you while you're still looking for her in the crowd. Yes, Dominic.
I can see it.
Even now, even while we're talking, your eyes keep drifting to find where she went. He doesn't deny it. That might be the worst part. He doesn't even try to lie to me. The orchestra begins another song, and more couples flow onto the dance floor. We're standing in the middle of the ballroom, the center of attention, even though everyone's pretending not to stare. I can feel the weight of their collective gaze, their judgment, their curiosity. I can't do this here. I say quietly. I can't pretend everything is fine when it clearly isn't. Then what do you want to do? Dominic asks, and there's something in his voice. Frustration? Helplessness? It's so unlike him that it almost makes me pause. I want answers. I finally say what I've been thinking since the moment Eliza arrived. Who is she? Really? Because she's not just a maid, is she? Maids don't waltz like they've been trained at court. They don't carry themselves with that kind of confidence. They don't show up out of nowhere with perfect references and work their way into the Alpha's good graces in less than a week. Dominic's expression shifts, and I know I've hit on something. You've been watching her. Of course I've been watching her. The words burst out before I can stop them. She's in my house, around my mate, and everything about her screams that she's not what she claims to be. So yes, I've been watching. And you know what I've noticed? She's educated. Well-spoken. She knows pack protocol better than some of our actual pack members. And she looks at you like... I trail off because I can't quite articulate it. How she looks at him. It's not admiration or attraction or even fear. It's something else. Something familiar. Like what? Dominic presses. Like she knows you. The realization hits me as I say it.
Not knows about you.
Knows you.
Personally.
Like you have history together. The muscle in his jaw jumps, and I know I'm right. Oh God, I'm actually right. Dominic. My voice is shaking now. All pretense of control abandoned. Tell me I'm wrong. Please. Tell me I'm being paranoid and jealous and irrational. He looks away, unable to meet my eyes, and my heart sinks. How long? I ask. How long have you known her? Seraphina.
How long?
He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture of frustration I know well. It's complicated. That's not an answer. I know. He finally meets my gaze again, and what I see there terrifies me. Not guilt.
Not shame.
But conflict. Like he's torn between multiple loyalties, multiple truths. But it's the only one I can give you right now. The wine glass in my hand is in serious danger of shattering. You're my mate. My alpha. We're supposed to be partners. Equals. We're supposed to trust each other with everything. And you're standing here telling me that there's something about this woman, this maid who showed up on our doorstep a week ago, that you can't tell me. There are things at play here that are bigger than us, he says carefully. Things I need to protect you from. Protect me? I almost laugh. By lying to me? By keeping secrets? By dancing with her while the entire pack watches and wonders if their Luna is losing her mate. No one thinks that. Everyone thinks that. I gesture around the ballroom, at all the carefully averted eyes and whispered conversations. Look at them, Dominic. Really look. They're all wondering what's happening between us. Whether our mating is falling apart. Whether you're replacing me. I would never. Then prove it. The words are out before I can think them through. Right now.
Tell me who she is.
Tell me why she's here. Tell me why you danced with her instead of me. Tell me something real, something true. Or I swear I will walk out of this gala, and you can explain to the pack why their Luna left in the middle of the most important social event of the season. It's a bluff. Mostly. I don't actually know if I have the courage to follow through. But I need him to understand how serious this is. How close I am to breaking. Dominic closes his eyes for a moment, and I can see the war happening behind his expression. When he opens them again, there's something different. A resignation, maybe. Or a decision made. Not here, he says quietly. But I promise you, Seraphina, I will explain. Tonight. When we get home. Everything. Why not now? Because what I have to tell you, it's going to change everything. And we need privacy for that conversation. My stomach drops. What could be so serious that he can't even give me a hint here? What could possibly be so earth-shattering that it requires this level of secrecy? Is she? I can barely force the words out. Are you? Is there something between you two? The look he gives me is wounded.
No.
Not in the way you're thinking. Seraphina, I love you. That hasn't changed. Whatever else is happening, whatever else you're about to learn, that fundamental truth remains. It should comfort me. His declaration of love should make me feel better. But somehow it doesn't. Because there's a but hanging in the air, an unspoken caveat that makes his love feel conditional. Complicated. I need you to do something for me, Dominic continues. I need you to trust me for a few more hours.
Stay at this gala.
Play your role as Luna. Show the pack that we're united, that we're strong. And when we get home, I'll tell you everything. I promise. What choice do I have? If I refuse, if I cause a scene, it will only make things worse. The pack is already speculating. Already whispering. If I storm out, I'll be confirming their suspicions that something is seriously wrong. But staying means pretending. Smiling. Acting like my world isn't crumbling around me. Acting like I didn't just watch my mate dance with another woman and then refuse to explain why. I look past Dominic to where Eliza stands near the refreshment table. She's not looking at us. She's carefully studying the floor, the wall, anything but the confrontation happening in the middle of the ballroom. But I can see the tension in her shoulders, the awareness. She knows we're talking about her. Fine. I say finally. I'll stay. I'll play my role. But Dominic, when we get home, You're going to tell me everything. No more secrets. No more protecting me from things I need to know. I'm your Luna, not some fragile thing that needs to be sheltered from the truth. He nods, relief evident in his expression. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, I say coldly. You haven't heard what I'm going to do if I don't like what you tell me. The next 2 hours are the longest of my life. I smile. I make small talk. I discuss pack business and territorial boundaries and the upcoming Harvest Festival. I dance with Elder Marcus and Beta James and several other high-ranking pack members. I laugh at jokes that aren't funny and nod sympathetically at complaints that don't matter. And through it all, I'm aware of Eliza. She's returned to her duties, serving drinks and clearing plates, blending into the background the way staff is supposed to. But I catch glimpses of her throughout the night. The way she moves through the crowd. The way other pack members look at her, with curiosity, with interest, with something I can't quite name. And I'm aware of Dominic. He's working the room like the alpha he is, all political charm and strategic conversation. But I know him well enough to see the distraction underneath. The way his attention keeps fragmenting. The way his eyes track Eliza's movements even when he's deep in discussion with someone else. Whatever is happening here, whatever truth he's keeping from me, it involves her. And it's significant enough that it's affecting his focus, his judgment. That's what scares me most. Dominic is always in control. Always 3 steps ahead. Always playing the long game. For something to throw him off like this, it has to be serious. Lady Helena approaches me again, her expression concerned. Luna, you look pale. Perhaps you should sit down? I'm fine, I assure her, though I'm not sure I've ever felt less fine in my life. Just tired. It's been a stressful evening, she says carefully. Too carefully. Like she knows more than she's saying. All these politics. So exhausting. Is that what we're calling it? Politics? Indeed. I noticed the Alpha seemed quite taken with the new maid. She continues, her voice casual but her eyes sharp. Unusual, don't you think?
And here it is.
The fishing expedition. The subtle probe to see how I'll react, what information I'll give away. This is how pack politics works. Everyone gathering intelligence, looking for advantages, searching for weaknesses to exploit later. The Alpha recognizes talent and potential in all pack members, I say smoothly. Even those in service positions. It's one of the things that makes him such an effective leader. It's the right answer. The political answer. It gives nothing away while appearing gracious and confident. Lady Helena nods, but I can see the calculation in her eyes. She doesn't believe me. She knows something is wrong. And by tomorrow morning, so will the rest of the pack. Finally, mercifully, the gala begins to wind down. Couples start making their excuses, thanking us for our hospitality, heading home to their own territories and their own dramas. I stand beside Dominic at the entrance, playing the perfect Luna as we bid farewell to our guests. Wonderful evening, Alpha Luna, Elder Marcus says, though his eyes are knowing. Very educational. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Dominic responds, his voice giving nothing away. When the last guest has finally departed, when the orchestra has packed up their instruments and the staff has begun cleaning up the debris of the evening, Dominic turns to me. Ready to go home? Am I ready to hear whatever truth has been hiding underneath all this tension? Whatever revelation is about to shatter my world? I suppose I don't have much choice, I say. We walk to the car in silence. The drive home is equally quiet. The kind of heavy, oppressive silence that feels like a living thing between us. Dominic's hands are tight on the steering wheel. My hands are folded in my lap, my nails digging into my palms. When we pull up to our house, the Alpha residence, a sprawling estate that's supposed to represent power and stability, I feel a sense of dread settle over me. Because whatever happens next in the next few minutes, nothing is going to be the same. We enter the house, and Dominic heads straight for his office. I follow, my heart pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. This is it. This is where I finally get answers. He pours himself a drink, scotch, neat, and offers me one. I shake my head. I need to be clear-headed for this. Whatever this is. Before I start, he says, not looking at me, I need you to understand that everything I've done, every decision I've made, has been to protect you, to protect our pack. Noted, I say tersely. Now tell me who she is. Dominic takes a long drink, then sets the glass down with deliberate care. When he finally looks at me, there's something in his eyes I've never seen before. Fear? No, that's not quite right. It's more like apprehension. Like he's about to jump off a cliff and isn't sure if there's water below. Eliza, he begins slowly, is not just a maid. You were right about that. I knew it. The vindication feels hollow. So, who is she? She's... He pauses, struggling with the words. She's my sister. The world stops. Just stops. I must have heard him wrong. I must be imagining things. Because there's no way he just said what I think he said. Your sister? I repeat slowly. Half-sister, technically. Same father, different mothers. I sink into a chair because my legs won't hold me anymore. You don't have a sister. You're an only child. I know your family history. I've studied your lineage. There's no mention of any siblings. Because she wasn't supposed to exist. His voice is heavy with old pain. My father had an affair, years before he met my mother. The woman was from a smaller pack beneath his station politically. When she got pregnant, my father paid her off, set her up in a distant territory with enough money to raise the child, but with strict instructions to never contact him, never claim any connection to our family. I'm trying to process this, trying to make sense of it. But how? When did you find out? 3 years ago. He looks at me directly now, right before our mating ceremony. 3 years. He's known for 3 years and never told me. Never mentioned that he had a sister out there somewhere. Why didn't you tell me? The hurt in my voice is unmistakable. Because it was complicated. Because she wanted nothing to do with me, with our family, with any of this. He gestures around the office, indicating the pack, the politics, everything we represent. Her mother had told her the truth about our father when she turned 18, about how he rejected them, paid them off, treated them like a dirty secret. Eliza hated him, hated everything he stood for, and by extension, she hated me. Then why is she here now? Why show up pretending to be a maid? Dominic's expression darkens. Because her pack did disband. Because she had nowhere else to go. Because despite everything, despite all the anger and resentment, blood calls to blood. And because... He pauses, his voice dropping. Because she's in danger. Now we're getting somewhere. What kind of danger? The kind that comes from being the illegitimate daughter of a powerful alpha, he says grimly. There are parties who would use her to get to me. To destabilize our pack. To create succession disputes. She refused my help for years, insisted she could take care of herself. But something happened. Something serious enough that she finally reached out. So you brought her here. As a maid. Why the deception? Why not just introduce her as your sister? Because the pack isn't ready for that information, Dominic says. Because acknowledging her publicly means acknowledging my father's affair. It means calling into question the legitimacy of my own claim to the alpha position. There are already factions in the pack who question my leadership, who think I'm too young, too progressive. If they found out about Eliza, they'd use her as ammunition. They'd claim my father's bloodline is tainted. They'd argue that I might not be the rightful heir. I'm starting to understand, but that doesn't make it hurt less. So you brought her in secretly, gave her a cover identity. I needed her safe. And I needed time to figure out how to handle the political fallout of revealing her existence. He runs his hand through his hair again. I was going to tell you. I was waiting for the right moment. But then tonight I realized I was running out of time. Why did you dance with her? That's the question that's been burning in my mind all night. You had to know how it would look. Because she asked me to. He says it simply, like it explains everything. She pulled me aside right before the waltz and said she needed to talk to me. Said it was urgent. The only way I could get a private conversation with her without raising suspicion was to dance with her. So I did. What did she tell you? His expression becomes grim. That they've found her. The people she was running from. That they know she's here. And that they're coming. I feel like I've been punched in the stomach. Coming here? To our territory. She thinks so. She has contacts. People who owe her favors. They got word that there's been movement. Questions being asked about her whereabouts. It's only a matter of time before they trace her here. Who are they? I demand. Mercenaries. Wolves for hire. Working for someone who wants her dead. Dominic's voice is flat. Factual. Eliza witnessed something she shouldn't have. Something that could bring down a major pack alliance in the Northern Territories. The wolves involved have been trying to silence her for months. This just keeps getting worse. And you brought this danger into our pack? Into our home? Without telling me? I didn't have a choice. His control finally cracks, frustration bleeding through. She's my sister, Seraphina.
Blood. Family.
What was I supposed to do? Turn her away? Let her die, because it was politically inconvenient. No, but you could have trusted me. I'm on my feet now. Anger overriding fear. You could have told me the truth from the beginning. You could have let me help you figure this out instead of keeping me in the dark like I'm some kind of outsider. I was trying to protect you. Stop saying that. My voice echoes off the walls. Stop using protection as an excuse for lying to me. I'm your Luna. I'm supposed to be your partner in everything, including the difficult decisions. Especially the difficult decisions. We stand there, facing each other across his desk, both breathing hard. This is the most honest we've been with each other in months, maybe years. And it's happening in the middle of a crisis. You're right, Dominic says quietly, and I'm so shocked I almost miss it. You're absolutely right. I should have told you from the beginning. I should have trusted you with this. But Seraphina, you have to understand, my father kept secrets.
He lied.
He had a whole other family that no one knew about. And when I found out about Eliza, when I learned the truth, I swore I would never be like him. I would never lie to the people I loved. And yet here we are, I point out. I know. He looks defeated in a way I've never seen before. I told myself I was waiting for the right time, that I was being strategic, careful. But the truth is, I was scared. Scared of how you'd react. Scared of what it would mean for us. Scared that you'd look at me differently if you knew my bloodline was complicated. I want to stay angry. I want to hold onto my righteous fury. But I can see the vulnerability in his eyes, the genuine fear. And I realize that this isn't just about Eliza. This is about us. About the distance that's been growing between us. About all the things we haven't been saying to each other. I wouldn't have, I say softly, looked at you differently. Your father's mistakes aren't yours. And having a half-sister doesn't change who you are or what you mean to me. I see that now. He moves around the desk, closing the distance between us. I'm sorry, Seraphina.
For the secrets.
For the lies. For making you doubt my feelings for you. When I saw your face tonight, when I realized how much I'd hurt you, I knew I couldn't keep hiding this. The dance, I murmur, understanding now. You weren't choosing her over me. You were trying to protect her while figuring out how to tell me the truth.
Yes. But I handled it badly.
I should have found another way. One that didn't make you feel like you were being replaced or ignored. I want to forgive him. I want to let this go and move forward. But there are still so many questions. So many pieces that don't fit. What do we do now? I ask. If these mercenaries are coming, we prepare. We protect her. And we figure out how to neutralize the threat permanently. His voice has shifted back to alpha mode, strategic, commanding. But I can't do it alone. I need you, Seraphina. I need my Luna. I need your strength, your intelligence, your support. It's what I've been wanting to hear for months.
That he needs me.
That I matter. That we're truly in this together. Tell me everything, I say. No more secrets. No more half-truths. If we're going to protect your sister and keep the pack safe, I need to know exactly what we're dealing with. He nods and begins to explain. The details pour out. How Eliza had been working as a translator for a neutral pack, how she'd overheard a conversation between Northern Pack leaders about a planned coup, how she'd tried to warn the right people only to become a target herself. How she'd gone into hiding, moving from territory to territory, until her options ran out and she had no choice but to contact the brothers she'd spent her whole life resenting. The wolves after her aren't just hired guns, Dominic explains. They're connected to the conspiracy she uncovered. If she dies, the evidence she has dies with her. But if she lives long enough to testify before the council, it could prevent a war, I finish.
Exactly.
The northern territories are already unstable. If this coup succeeds, it could trigger a domino effect. Pack wars, territory disputes, thousands of deaths. The scope of this is staggering. This isn't just about protecting one person. It's about preventing a potential catastrophe that could affect the entire wolf community. Where is she now? I ask. In the guest house. I have guards watching, but they don't know who they're protecting or why. Just that she's a VIP who requires security. We need to talk to her. The three of us. If we're going to work together on this, we need to be on the same page. Dominic looks surprised. You want to meet her? Officially? She's your sister. She's family. And she's in danger. I square my shoulders. That makes her my responsibility too. As Luna, I have a duty to protect Pack members. All Pack members. Even the ones who arrive under false pretenses. There's something like gratitude in Dominic's eyes. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I'm still angry with you. We're going to have a lot more conversations about trust and communication. But right now, we have a more immediate problem to solve. We make our way to the guest house, a smaller residence on the property usually reserved for visiting dignitaries. The guards nod to us as we approach, and Dominic dismisses them with a gesture. We need privacy for this. Eliza answers the door before we can knock. She's changed out of her maid's uniform into simple jeans and a sweater. Without the facade of service, she looks even more like Dominic. Same strong jaw. Same intense eyes. Same way of standing like she's ready to fight or flee at a moment's notice. Luna, she greets me, her voice carefully neutral. I suppose you know. I know. I study her. This woman who's caused so much turmoil in one short week. We should talk. Inside, we settle into an awkward triangle in her living room. Eliza perches on the edge of an armchair, radiating tension. Dominic takes a position near the window, strategic, able to see anyone approaching. I claim the sofa, trying to project authority while my mind races with everything I've learned. I'm sorry, Eliza says abruptly. For the deception. For the problems I've caused. I didn't want to come here. Didn't want to involve Dominic in my mess. But I was out of options. Tell me about these mercenaries, I say, getting straight to business. How many? How skilled? When do you expect them to arrive? She blinks, clearly surprised by my directness. You're not going to interrogate me about my relationship with your mate? About whether I'm trying to steal him or undermine you? Should I be? I ask coolly.
No.
But most Lunas would be. She glances at Dominic. You've found a strong one. I know. There's warmth in his voice when he says it. Eliza takes a breath and begins laying out what she knows. 3 mercenaries, possibly 4. All highly trained. All ruthless. They've been tracking her for weeks, and her sources indicate they're close to pinpointing her location. They're not subtle, she explains. They don't care about pack law or territorial boundaries. They'll come in, kill me, and disappear before anyone can stop them. Unless we're ready for them, I counter. Unless we turn the hunters into the hunted. Both Dominic and Eliza look at me with new interest. What do you have in mind? Dominic asks. I've been turning it over in my mind since Dominic explained the situation. The political complications, the danger, the need for secrecy. It all points to one solution. We use their assumptions against them, I say. They think Eliza is hiding. Vulnerable. An easy target. So we let them come. But we control when and where. A trap, Eliza says slowly. More than that. A demonstration. I stand, starting to pace as the plan takes shape. We can't keep you hidden forever. Eventually, the truth about who you are will come out. When it does, We need the pack to see you as an asset, not a liability. What better way than to have you help us capture the mercenaries who've been terrorizing the northern territories? Dominic is following my logic. We make her a hero instead of a victim.
Exactly.
It gives us a narrative we can control. When we eventually reveal she's your sister, we frame it as Dominic's brave half-sister who helped prevent a northern coup and captured dangerous criminals. Much better than Alpha's secret illegitimate sister who brought assassins to our territory. Eliza is shaking her head. It's too dangerous. If the plan fails. If we do nothing, you die anyway, I interrupt. At least this way you have a chance. We have a chance to control the narrative, protect the pack, and maybe prevent a war in the process. She's right, Dominic says quietly. It's risky, but it might be our best option. You're both insane, Eliza mutters. But I can see the calculation in her eyes. The soldier's assessment of odds and outcomes. But I'm listening. What exactly did you have in mind? We spend the next hour hammering out details. Dominic will use his network to spread a rumor that Eliza has been spotted in a specific location, an abandoned cabin on the edge of pack territory. We'll make it look like she's hiding out there, vulnerable and alone. Meanwhile, we'll have pack warriors positioned in the surrounding area, hidden, waiting. When the mercenaries come for Eliza, we'll be ready. The key is making it convincing, I emphasize. They're professionals. They'll scout the location first. Look for traps. We need everything to appear authentic. I'll actually stay in the cabin, Eliza offers. Make it real. Let them see me through the windows, track my movements. Absolutely not, Dominic says immediately. Too dangerous. It's the only way it works, she argues. If I'm not actually there, they'll know it's a trap. But if I am there, with your warriors hidden and ready to move, we have the advantage of surprise. I can see the conflict on Dominic's face. The protective brother warring with the strategic alpha. Seraphina? What do you think? The fact that he's asking me, trusting my judgment, means more than he probably realizes. I think Eliza's right. I say carefully. But we need fail-safes. Multiple escape routes. A panic signal. And I'll be there too.
What?
Both of them say it simultaneously. Think about it. If this goes wrong, if the pack finds out about this operation, who do you think they'll blame? Dominic for keeping secrets. Eliza for bringing danger to our territory. We need to show that the Luna was involved from the beginning. That this was a pack decision, not just the Alpha protecting his secret sister. Eliza looks at me with something like respect. You're politically savvy. I'll give you that. I'm Luna. Politics is part of the job. I meet her gaze steadily. I'm not doing this for you. Not yet. I'm doing it for the pack. For Dominic. Because he cares about you, which means I have to care about keeping you alive. Fair enough. She almost smiles. Maybe we can work on the caring about me part later. Maybe. I allow myself a small smile in return. If you survive the week. It's dark humor, but somehow it breaks the tension. Dominic looks between us, and I can see the relief in his expression. He was afraid we'd hate each other.
Compete.
But I think we both understand what's really at stake here. The planning continues into the early morning hours. Every detail, every contingency. Dominic contacts trusted warriors, swearing them to secrecy. I work on the political messaging, preparing for various outcomes. Eliza provides intelligence on the mercenaries, their tactics, their weaknesses, their likely approach. By the time the sun starts to rise, we have a plan. It's dangerous. It could fail spectacularly. But it's better than waiting passively for the threat to arrive. 3 days, Dominic says. That's how long it will take to spread the rumor and have it reach the right ears. 3 days to prepare the cabin, position our people, get everything ready. 3 days, Eliza repeats. She looks tired, but there's a spark in her eyes that wasn't there before. Hope, maybe. Or determination. 3 days, I echo. And then, surprising myself, I reach out and touch her arm. We're going to get through this. All of us. She looks down at my hand, then up at my face. Why are you being kind to me? After everything I've put you through? It's a good question. When I've been asking myself, why am I helping this woman who showed up out of nowhere and turned my life upside down? Because you're important to Dominic, I say honestly. And because I understand what it's like to be alone. To feel like you can't trust anyone. To have your world fall apart and nowhere safe to land. There's a flash of understanding in her eyes. You weren't always Luna.
No.
I came from a small pack. Worked my way up. Fought for every scrap of respect I have. I glance at Dominic, who's watching us with an unreadable expression. I know what it's like to be underestimated.
Dismissed.
Treated like you don't belong. Then you understand why I didn't want to come here, Eliza says quietly. Why I fought against it for so long. Being the bastard daughter. The dirty secret. It's not exactly a position of strength. No, I agree. But maybe that can change. Maybe we can change it. Dominic moves closer, placing a hand on my shoulder. I don't deserve you, he says softly. Probably not. I reply, but there's no heat in it. But you're stuck with me anyway. For the first time in hours, he smiles. Really smiles. And I feel something in my chest unclench. We're not okay yet. Not completely. There's still healing to do, trust to rebuild. But we're moving in the right direction. I should get some rest, Eliza says, standing. Big 3 days ahead. Sleep, Dominic agrees. We'll reconvene tonight to finalize details. She heads toward the bedroom, but pauses at the door. Luna? Thank you for giving me a chance. Don't thank me yet, I tell her. Survive this, help us protect the pack, and maybe we'll call it even. She nods and disappears into the bedroom. Dominic and I are left alone in the living room as the sun continues to rise outside. We should talk, Dominic says. Yes, we should. I settle back onto the sofa, starting with the fact that you've been lying to me for 3 years. He winces. I know. And I'm sorry. Truly sorry. But Seraphina, you have to understand. I do understand. Or at least I'm trying to. I pat the cushion beside me, and he sits, close but not touching. I understand why you kept it secret. The political implications, the complexity of the situation. But Dominic, we can't keep operating like this. With secrets and half-truths and assumptions about what the other person can handle. You're right. I'm your Luna. Your partner. Your mate. That means we face things together. The good and the bad. The simple and the complicated. I finally reach out and take his hand. I need you to trust me enough to share the difficult things. Not just protect me from them. I was afraid, he admits. Afraid of losing you. Afraid that if you knew about Eliza, about my father's affair, about the complications with my bloodline, afraid you'd see me differently. See me as less than. That's not how this works. That's not how we work. I squeeze his hand. Your father's mistakes aren't yours. Your complicated family history doesn't change who you are as an alpha or as my mate. If anything, knowing you've been dealing with this alone makes me respect you more. But it also hurts that you didn't think you could share that burden with me. From now on, he promises no more secrets. No more protecting you from difficult truths. We're a team. We're a team, I repeat. It feels like a vow, like something sacred passing between us. We sit there as the sun fully rises, painting the room in shades of gold and amber. There's still so much to do, so much to prepare for. The mercenaries are coming. The pack still doesn't know about Eliza. The political situation is precarious. But somehow, for the first time in months, I feel like we might actually make it through this. Together. What are you thinking? Dominic asks, reading the expression on my face. I'm thinking about how different things looked 12 hours ago, I admit. At the gala, watching you dance with her, I thought I was losing you. I thought maybe our mating was falling apart. And now. Now I realize we were already falling apart. Just in slower, quieter ways. This crisis, as terrible as it is, might have been exactly what we needed to force us to actually talk to each other. To be honest. That's a very optimistic way of looking at assassins coming to kill my sister, he says dryly. I laugh, surprising myself. Well, I'm trying to find the silver lining here, The silver lining is that I have you. He pulls me closer, wrapping his arm around my shoulders. I have a Luna who's smart enough to turn a crisis into an opportunity, strong enough to face down danger, forgiving enough to give me another chance. I don't know what I did to deserve you, but I'm grateful for it every day. Even when I'm jealous and suspicious and ready to cause a scene at a formal gala? Especially then. It means you care. It means this matters to you. He kisses the top of my head. I never want you to stop caring, even when it's messy or complicated or painful. We're going to be okay, I realize. Not immediately. Not without work. But we're going to make it through this. We should get back to the house, I say reluctantly. People will be wondering where we are. Let them wonder. But he stands anyway, offering me his hand. Though you're right. We have preparations to make. Warriors to brief. A trap to set. A pack to protect, I add. A pack to protect, he agrees. As we walk back to the main house, I think about everything that's happened. The jealousy, the confrontation, the revelations, the plan. 24 hours ago, I was the Luna who thought her mate might be having an affair. Now I'm the Luna planning to use her mate's secret sister as bait to catch assassins and prevent a war. Life comes at you fast when you're married to an alpha. But here's what I've learned through all of this. Strength isn't about never feeling jealous or insecure or afraid. It's about feeling those things and choosing to act anyway. Choosing to trust. Choosing to fight for what matters. Dominic matters. Our mating matters. The pack matters. And yes, even Eliza matters now. Because she's family, and family is worth fighting for. The next 3 days are going to be intense. Dangerous. Possibly deadly. But we'll face them together. As partners. As mates. As a team. And when this is over, when the dust settles and the threats are neutralized, we'll have to deal with the political fallout of revealing Eliza's existence to the pack. That's going to be its own kind of battle. But I'm ready for it. Because I'm not just Dominic's Luna anymore. I'm not just playing a role or maintaining appearances. I'm stepping fully into my power, my strength, my rightful place as leader of this pack. And anyone who wants to challenge that is welcome to try. The sun is fully up now, bright and clear, promising a beautiful day. It seems almost ironic given the darkness we're preparing for. But maybe that's fitting. Maybe that's exactly what we need. Light to balance the shadow, hope to balance the fear. I look at Dominic walking beside me, this man I chose and who chose me, and I feel something solidify inside me. A certainty, a commitment. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. The mercenaries, the political complications, the revelations and their consequences. All of it. Because that's what mates do. That's what Lunas do. They stand strong in the face of challenges. They protect their own. They transform jealousy into determination, fear into action, secrets into strength. 3 days until the trap is set. 3 days until we face the threat head-on. 3 days until everything changes again. I'm ready. We're ready. Let them come. So there you have it. The story of how a jealous Luna became a strategic warrior. How a secret sister became an unexpected ally. How a mate's deception became the catalyst for deeper truth. But this is just the beginning. The mercenaries are still out there. The pack still doesn't know the full truth. And Eliza's testimony about the northern coup is still the key to preventing a war. What happens next? Well, that's a story for another time. A story of traps and battles and political maneuvering. A story of 3 strong individuals learning to work together despite their complicated history. A story of how sometimes the biggest threats come from outside, and sometimes they come from within. And how the only way to survive either is to face them head-on, with courage, with strategy, and with the people you trust standing beside you. But if there's one thing I've learned through all of this, it's that we're stronger than we think, braver than we know, and capable of far more than we ever imagined.